A legal bowling ball weighs under 16 pounds. 3 times, the Professional Bowlers Association faced a weight scandal. In each case, every ball in the tournament weighed exactly what it should, and yet was still illegal. The problem was never the pounds. In early 1971, lab tests confirmed what many had only suspected. Soaking a urethane bowling ball in methyl ethyl ketone, MEK, dropped its surface hardness by 4 to 6 points on the Shore A scale. A ball that started at 68 could fall below 64, well outside the standard range. Bowling Journal broke the story, followed by ABC Technical Bulletin number 42, which detailed MEK soaks as a common but unchecked tactic. Durometer readings and control samples showed the chemical softened cover stocks without visible signs. Trade magazines seized on the findings, quoting manufacturers who admitted to MEK use and pro shop owners offering the service. The evidence forced the issue into the open. A BC responded with strict calibration standards, and within weeks the equipment committee called a special meeting. By March, the need for a numeric hardness limit was clear, and a formal rule was set in motion. The new hardness rule landed with authority, but enforcement on the ground proved far less certain. Tournament officials relied on spot checks, not systematic inspection. There was no standardized field kit, just a handful of durometers often shared between events. According to committee records, compliance checks depended on who was present and which balls drew attention. In oral histories, Ray Orff, a respected pro of the era, described never having his equipment tested, even as rumors of softening swirled. Inspection logs from 1972 show wide gaps. Some events listed every serial number examined, others left entire pages blank. The equipment committee itself called enforcement spot check dependent in its 1973 meeting minutes. For years, no one could guarantee that every ball in play met the new standard. This patchwork approach created room for inconsistency and quiet advantage, setting a pattern that would reappear decades later in new forms. A pro shop veteran lines up a 15-pound ball on the scale, then points to the balance hole, an extra cavity drilled away from the gripping area. The hole measures 1 1/4 inches across and plunges 3 inches deep. Lab tests and United States Bowling Congress technical memos confirm what is at stake. That single hole can remove nearly 3 ounces of mass, shifting the ball's static weight and raising its RG differential by as much as 0.021. That is not a rounding error. In controlled studies, balls with a balance hole show a measurable boost in hook potential, even when the bowler never uses the hole for grip. The numbers match up. A typical balance hole drilled to spec alters the ball's moment of inertia just enough to change how it reads the lane. The Pro Shop fitter demonstrates the before and after, showing the RG differential climbs and lane reaction sharpens. These figures, up to 3 ounces removed and 0.021 RG gained, are not theoretical. They are published in United States Bowling Congress frequently asked questions and confirmed by independent labs. What started as a fix for manufacturing tolerances became a precision tool for performance hidden in plain sight. August 1st, 2018 brought a sharp turn in the rulebook. The USBC published a technical FAQ and an equipment handbook revision that split the static weight allowance in two. Balls drilled without a balance hole could now have up to 3 ounces of side, thumb, or finger weight. But if a balance hole was present, the old 1 ounce limit still applied. This was not a subtle adjustment. The language printed in the 2018 equipment specifications spelled out the intention to discourage the use of extra unused holes as performance modifiers, while giving bowlers more leeway if they played by the new rules. The distinction was clear: 3 ounces for compliant balls, 1 ounce for those with balance holes. But the loophole proved stubborn. By 2019, internal compliance reviews found that balls with balance holes, even under the stricter 1 ounce cap, continued to show measurable performance gains. Lab reports cited up to a 0.021 RG differential boost, and pro shop operators kept drilling, citing the technical allowance. The USBC responded with finality. Effective August 1st, 2020, any unused hole in a competition ball would be grounds for disqualification. The 2020 ban notice stated that every hole must be used on every shot. The rule closed the loophole, but the cycle of technical advantage and regulatory response was already repeating itself, setting the stage for the next era of equipment scrutiny. Approval records for the Purple Hammer list a hardness of 72.07D at sign-off in 2016. That number appears in the 2025 governance report, but for 3 years, no follow-up testing was logged. In 2019, a technician flagged the ball during a televised tour stop after noticing a lane-side durometer reading that fell below the published minimum. The audit excerpt released in the governance appendix states that no additional field validation was performed between 2016 approval and 2019 on-site test. Tournament footage from that season shows repeated close-ups of the same model in play, while internal memos confirm that only after the on-tour detection did officials begin systematic retesting. The lag between lab approval and field oversight left a documented gap, one that would soon trigger a cascade of policy changes. A new threshold now defines the limits of legal equipment. The Professional Bowlers Association and the United States Bowling Congress have set 78.0 HD as the minimum hardness for all balls used in national competition. Any ball manufactured on or after January 6, 2024 must meet this standard. No exceptions. The rule is explicit. Only balls produced before that date and listed on the approved roster remain legal if they pass on-site testing. Officials now test balls live using calibrated durometers in the equipment truck before each round. The language in the current rulebook leaves little room for ambiguity. Every player, every ball, every serial number is logged. The era of spot checks and quiet loopholes has given way to real-time enforcement and a hardened line, both literally and by policy. Today, every ball is scanned, weighed, and durometer checked, yet loopholes persist. As rules shift from ounces to hardness decimals, integrity hangs on vigilance, not numbers. The next scandal is always engineered. Share your thoughts below.